And I don't need to explain to you every reason as to why I don't want kids. Women don't owe you that. We don't need to tell you whether or not it's because of childbirth. We don't need to tell you whether or not it's because of the pain, whether or not it's because of family histories of mental health, whether or not it's because of the fact that we have a certain percentage chance of that child being whatever. It doesn't need to be because of financial. It doesn't need to be because we've been heartbroken. It doesn't need to be because we don't like men or just don't want kids. Just let women not want kids if they don't want kids. It's really not that deep.
Trust me when I say nobody gives a damn if you choose not to have kids. So guys, here we have this woman who is absolutely losing her mind on the internet because apparently she feels pressured into having children, despite the fact that nobody cares what she does. But what is going on, guys? It is Taylor the Fiend back again, and on today's episode we are going to be kicking it off with a clip from this woman who is, as far as I understand it, single, childless, and then of course naturally following on from that, she is on TikTok absolutely losing her marbles. So let's jump right in. Don't forget to leave your thoughts and your comments. Let's take a listen.
How do I feel as a 30-year-old woman that doesn't want children? I get this question all the time, so let's talk about it.
I guarantee you she doesn't get this question whatsoever. She just sits here, records these videos, and pretends that people give a damn. I can guarantee you that no people care, not men, not women. The only people that probably care are your parents because they don't want to see their bloodline end, but the average person does not give a singular damn, madam. I can assure you that.
Woman that doesn't want children. I get this question all the time, so let's talk about it. Because every single live, as soon as somebody works out that I don't want children, or they ask me why I don't want kids, or when I'm going to have kids, or am I not lonely not having kids, men cannot comprehend that I just don't want children. And I've never solely focused on making content about being a childless woman, as a woman that doesn't want to have children. But with the amount of feedback I got tonight, I need to talk about it.
Yeah, so here's the thing. So what she did was she jumped on a TikTok live, and then she talked about not wanting to have kids. You know, she lost her marbles probably at somebody in the chat. I mean, she brought this up, and then she's acting like people brought it up and care enough to be asking about this. Okay, and here's the thing, by the way. If there is anybody on the face of the planet trying to convince modern women to have kids, do you know who it is? It's women who failed to have children. I mean, guys, I covered a video, what was it, yesterday? 38-year-old woman crying, breaking down in tears on Christmas because she didn't have kids. Nobody cares if you don't have kids, right? Oftentimes, it's actually women who get older and they come to regret not having them. They're the ones trying to convince you, if anybody. But again, nobody gives a damn. This woman decided to bring it up on her live, apparently. People, notice the wording, by the way. People found out that she didn't want children. She was just talking about not wanting kids. I love how women have to frame it like this. They take no accountability for even the direction of conversations, by the way.
Am I not lonely not having kids? Men cannot comprehend that I just don't want children. And I've never solely focused on making content about being a childless woman, as a woman that doesn't want to have children. But with the amount of feedback I got tonight, I need to talk about it. Because, guys, you need to realise that not all women want children. And you don't see me going up to a man or a woman that wants a baby and going, oh my God, how dare you, that's so selfish, how could you bring a child into this world? Good for you. If you want a kid, you bring a kid into the world. Your body, your choice.
I guarantee you, nobody is losing their marbles over this woman trying to make her have children. You know, these women, they get on the internet, man, and they think that just society somehow just revolves around them or revolves around women. Let me tell you, there are so many dudes who have just simply checked out. A lot of people don't actually care, right? But she has to make it into this issue. This just seems to me like somebody who's coping. Because again, if you were fine, here's the thing about people on the internet proclaiming to be a certain way, guys. If you're so happy being single or being childless or whatever the case may be, I'm going to assume this woman is single because she's insufferable. And she's 30 years of age talking about this on TikTok. So I'm just going to run with the idea that she's single. If she's not, I feel sorry for the man. But in any case, like, nobody particularly gives a crap what you do with your life, you know? Like, nobody is coming up to this woman making these comments about, oh, how dare you, you're so selfish and things like this. They just think that the whole universe revolves around them, even when it doesn't. I don't know this woman's name, guys. I don't know who the hell this woman is. These people just randomly pop up in TikTok, just yammering on about crap that they expect people to care about. And as I was saying before, if you are so happy being single and childless, why do you feel the need to make videos about how content you are being single and childless? You know, like people who don't need something, or like they are a particular way, like someone who's happy doesn't get on the internet just announcing that they're happy. You see what I'm saying?
This world. Good for you. If you want a kid, you bring a kid into the world. Your body, your choice. If that's what you want, if that's what makes you happy, please do it. But I don't want children. Lots of women don't want children. Can we please stop trying to force women to open up their uterus like it's some kind of daycare human incubator for any man that just wants you to have a kid?
Nobody is saying to do this. You see, this is the part of the clip, guys, where I just think that this woman is hopping on some seriously questionable substances. Nobody says this, you know. Nobody's like, well, you just need to have a kid with the next man. No, nobody is saying this to you, madam. Okay, what she's probably getting pissed off about is comments that people make sometimes where women who want children delay having it for a long period of time, and then obviously the quality of the man that they can get is drastically reduced because they screwed around in their 20s. But I mean, this is just simple logic. I'm not sitting here, nobody is sitting here telling this woman to just go out there and have a child with a random kid. If anything, people talk about the importance of doing the exact opposite. You know, women, I've always said this, guys, but women's power in the dating realm, I guess you would call it, marriage, kids, all that. Women's power and their strength comes from choosing the right man. But so many women just can't do it. They absolutely can't do it. I laugh at the women who choose bad boys throughout their 20s and 30s and then decide they want to settle down and have a child. You know, because I think that these women were completely clueless and they chose wrong. If anything, people are telling you, hey, go out there, choose a good man. Nobody is telling you to choose a deadbeat, by the way. Like, women do this and then they complain, you know, or they accuse the guy of being a deadbeat when he wasn't, and they just try and take the kids from him and stuff like this. Nobody is saying this. Again, this woman's a complete nut job, by the way.
Their uterus like it's some kind of daycare human incubator for any man that just wants you to have a kid. Some of us don't want it. Would I adopt? Potentially. I love children. I'm very maternal. I know it's hard for a lot of men to understand that some of us are maternal and still don't want children.
Yeah, you see, this doesn't really make sense because, you know, you're on here, you're maternal, you want to adopt, but you don't want to have kids, you're very maternal. I mean, obviously this is going to confuse some people because on the surface they seem to be contradictory. I don't know if this woman has some sort of health issues that might prevent her from having children. But again, if, you know, it's very weird to say, I don't want children, but then go on to say that you want to adopt. Like, let's make up our mind, madam, here. But what she does is she calls people, you know, she's like, oh, these silly men are just confused. Yeah, because you're being vague and the things you are saying don't make 100% sense. They don't line up. They require clarification. Women will come out here, say very vague crap on the internet or things that contradict each other. And then when people are like, hey, what do you mean by this? It doesn't make sense. Then we're the dummies, you know? Like, we're the stupid ones. Make it make sense, guys.
I know it's hard for a lot of men to understand that some of us are maternal and still don't want children. And I don't need to explain to you every reason as to why I don't want kids. Women don't owe you that. We don't need to tell you whether or not it's because of childbirth. We don't need to tell you whether or not it's because of the pain, whether or not it's because of family histories of mental health, whether or not it's because of the fact that we have a certain percentage chance of that child being whatever. It doesn't need to be because of financial. It doesn't need to be because we've been heartbroken. It doesn't need to be because we don't like men or just don't want kids. Just let women not want kids if they don't want kids. It's really not that deep.
No, again, nobody gives a damn. Like, guys, I think I can speak for most dudes when we say that we don't care. If women are checking out of marriage, great. Less dudes to get scammed. If women don't want to have any kids anymore, cool. I mean, a lot of guys have already checked out of this idea anyway. And if they are looking to have children, they're probably not looking to have children with women who get on TikTok and rant. You know, like, these are not the wife material, mother material type women anyway. Trust me when I say they're not really looking at you. In fact, the people who are, if anyone's leaving comments, usually, by the way, it's women or people who have seen women in this situation get to like 38 years of age, for example, and break down crying. You know, like these are the same women, right? They get on here, they're like, I don't need no man, I don't want to have kids, I'm strong, independent. Flash forward a few years and they're sitting there crying because they're alone on Christmas. They do this actively to themselves. This is why, by the way, if anyone seems to give a damn, it's probably because they care about you, to be honest. You know, because again, a lot of women end up regretting this decision. I don't care if women have children or not. You know, most people, most men in particular, don't particularly give a damn. They just see all of the older women crying about it, crying about regretting their situation or apparently never finding a good man. I mean, the woman from the last video said that God never sent her a good man. I'm like, God probably sent you 50 of the damn the damn bastards. You know what I mean? God probably sent you so many dudes, and yet you thought you were too good for all of them. And here we are. But if anyone's making these comments, it's probably because they're actually concerned about this woman, because they see what happens to women like this, if they are making the comments at all, which is probably complete nonsense.
But like men or just don't want kids, just let women not want kids if they don't want kids. It's really not that deep. If you want children, have children. But I'm so sick to death of men telling me you should have children, you should pass on those genetics, you should have kids, you should do it because you're going to be lonely.
Please don't. Let me just send the contradictory message here. Please don't have children. I think things are probably going to go a little bit smoother, all things considered, if you don't do it. Oh, please pass on those genetics. Who the hell is saying, please pass on your genetics? Like, what? Holy hell. Guys, I'm telling you, these women, they think that they are the center of their own reality television show. You know, I was broadcasting to my audience earlier today, and they were just telling me these things and telling me what I had to do with my body. There's probably like, 10 people watching this. Or even, I'll give her some credit, okay? Some of these TikTok creators, they do have a lot of followers. It's almost like the correlation between stupidity and follower count really just amps up over TikTok. That is to say, if you have a woman giving dating advice, it's like the more stupid the dating advice is, the higher the follower count she typically has. It's really quite something, guys. It's quite the enigma. Let's keep going.
You should pass on those genetics. You should have kids. You should do it because you're going to be lonely. What are you going to do when you're in a care home? I'll tell you what I'm going to do when I'm in a care home.
Nobody asked. I didn't ask this. Guys. Like, I can't believe this woman is just like, let me tell you what I'm going to do when I'm in an aged care home. I don't want to hear it, but guys, for you, I will suffer through it. Let's take a listen. What will she do? I'm just dying to find out.
Probably the same thing you're going to do. Because if you have kids out of a place of selfishness, if you have kids because you're worried about being alone, you're probably not going to be a great parent. And your kids are probably going to grow up to resent you, to not like you, and to realise that you didn't have them for the right reasons. Because
Wait. So if you want to have children because you want to pursue a selfish endeavor, let's say like continuing your bloodline, then apparently this means that your kids are going to hate you and that they're going to despise you because you had them for the wrong reasons. Let's not get it confused here, okay? A lot of people have children because they want their bloodline to continue. A lot of people, they want to make a mini version of themselves. Like this is pretty damn common, I would say. Like I don't really understand, but this woman, she just has to lash out. Oh, if you have kids because of a selfish reason, which as far as I understand a lot of people do, then apparently the kids are just going to grow up to resent you. Like a lot of people, when they get to the age of wanting to have children and things like this, yeah, they're doing it out of selfish reasons. They want to have a mini them. They want to show them what they've learned throughout their life and, make them grow up in a particular kind of way and teach them their values and things like this. Like, yeah, it's inherently, arguably a selfish process. But of course, she's pissed. So she has to say, well, your kids are going to dislike you. Crazy, man. Crazy.
To not like you and to realise that you didn't have them for the right reasons because you're not coming from a maternal or paternal urge. And they're probably going to put you in the exact same care home that I'm going to be in. And we're going to be next door as two lonely old people in a care home together.
No, please. No. I don't want to be, guys. I don't want to be in the same aged care. You see, this is where I draw the line. All right. Nobody wants to be in the same aged care home as you. I guarantee you the people watching this video are probably like, oh, hell no. That's where I draw the line, okay? Holy.
Care home that I'm going to be in, and we're going to be next door as two lonely old people in a care home together. So I'm going to find you in the same place you're going to find me. So we're going to end up in the same place regardless. So what does it matter? Why does it matter what I do with my uterus? Why do you care? Why do you need to ask me why I don't want to have children? Why does it bother you so much?
I mean, people probably asked you because you mentioned it and they were curious. If you get on a TikTok live stream and you say, hey, you know, I don't want to have children, then yeah, people are going to ask you why. This is like modern women gaslighting 101, you know? They'll just, a very common question will be asked of them, and then they'll gaslight you and get triggered by it. You know, like, how dare you ask, what led you to ask me such an outrageous question, she says right after she said that she didn't want children. I mean, if someone's going to have a normal conversation with you, they're going to ask you questions based off of what you said. This is really like elementary stuff here. This is going to happen. If you're on a live stream with people and you say something, they are going to react and they are going to ask you a question. Again, this is assuming that anyone was even in this damn live stream, which I'm still skeptical of, by the way. A lot of these women just make up situations, man. But assuming it's true, it makes absolute sense. You know, if I one day, right, turned on a YouTube live stream, and then I mentioned in there, hey, I don't want to have children, people are, of course, going to ask me why I don't want to have children, and they're going to give their 2 cents on it. This is the internet. People are going to leave their opinions. Genius.
You so much. Doesn't bother me that you do want to have kids, and some of you really shouldn't be reproducing. Some of you men, I worry about having children, especially daughters, yet you're out here doing it, and I can't do nothing to stop it. So please, 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 please stop asking women why they don't want children. Please stop trying to change women's minds. Please stop being so fussed about what we do with our uterus. And if you want kids, good for you. And if you don't, good for you.
You know what, guys? I agree with this woman. I don't think anybody should be convincing women or trying to convince women to have children. You know why? Because I get more content out of it, guys. You know, when let's just say in 5 years' time, there is going to be a video of this woman crying, and it's going to be great. It's going to be fantastic. I get to farm another video out of it, guys. So what ends up happening? This is like one giant circle, and I think it's absolutely hilarious where women will make videos like this. And then you check their TikTok a while later, this video will be deleted because it contradicts itself, right? But then there'll be a video about how she's lonely and she's struggling and she got out of like a 4-year relationship or something and now nobody wants her and things like this. I mean, I think it's great. I don't think anybody should be convincing these women to try and have children. You know what? I don't want this woman to reproduce. If I had to pick a side, quote unquote, here, I would probably say that it's better, all things considered, if this woman did not reproduce whatsoever. But guys, let's continue into today's next clip. Now, I don't know what this one is, but I can guarantee you it's going to be absolute nonsense because it's on TikTok and it's a woman. I believe she's doing makeup here, I would assume. I mean, it already looks like she has a lot of makeup on and a filter, but let's just jump right into it. Again, guys, remember to leave your thoughts and your comments.
Around and it was him, and literally
what is she talking about? What is she talking about?
So I turn around and it was him, and literally off the bat, I'm like, oh my god, how the fuck? Like, what do I even say? Because this is kind of awkward. I was like, hey, oh my god, how are you? And he was like, literally off the rip, he's like, hey, I'm really sorry that I ghosted you. Like, I've just been so busy with work. Yeah.
Right, I remember this woman. So there was a part 1. I love how she just jumps into a separate video with no context whatsoever and expects you to like follow it. But I remember this woman. Guys, if you haven't watched the recent episode with this woman, this is a part 2, okay? Part 1 was her getting pissed off because a man who was 5'8" ghosted her, and she got mad about it and made a TikTok video about it, even though, in her own words, she was going to ghost him anyway, right? So now she goes to this party and she bumps into him, and we are left at this video clip here.
Hey, I'm really sorry that I ghosted you. Like, I've just been so busy with work, yada, yada, yada. Like, I was just standing there, I was like, I already knew how I was gonna play it because I thought about this scenario because he lives in Hoboken. I was gonna play it like the chill girl. After he finished his spiel, I literally was like, yeah, no, don't worry about it. I honestly didn't even notice. He was really, really drunk, and he basically was just like, whatever you want from the bar, like, I have a tab under my name, like, get whatever you want. Like, I feel so bad. And I was like, no, it's fine, like, I already have a drink, like, don't even worry about it. In the midst of him rambling, his friend, who was 6'2", walks over, pushes the kid aside, and
Love how this woman, by the way, always just has to denote men by how tall they are, right? Imagine if I was out here, man, and I was just like explaining a scenario with two women, and the first quality that I mentioned about the women was just their weight, right? Or what their dress size I assumed was, and things like this. Like, everybody, guys, if I posted a video over on TikTok outlining a situation that contained two women, and the first quality that I mentioned about both of these women was how overweight or underweight they were, oh my goodness, that video would be banned instantaneously, right? But here we have a woman who's like, you know what? This guy who's 5 foot, I can't believe I got ghosted by, I believe she said something like this. I can't believe I got ghosted by a man who was only 5'8", or by a 5'8" man. And then to top it off, right, she mentions this dude who's 6'2", and she says that this dude shoved this kid out of the way. Right, so because this guy's 5'8" and he ghosted you, as he rightfully should have anyway, then apparently that makes him a child. So we're denoting dudes by their age, and we are trying to shame them and call him a child. Me personally, guys, I think that this woman is the kid, to be honest with you.
His friend, who was 6'2", walks over, pushes the kid aside, and says, hi, my name is blah, blah, blah. Like, literally right in front of him. I'm like, hi, like, nice to meet you. His friend goes, you are literally so gorgeous. You just have the most perfect eyes.
Yeah, this never happened. Oh my goodness, these women are so full of themselves, man. They are so damn full of themselves, honestly.
And I was like, oh my god, thank you. Right in front of the kid that ghosted me.
Again, calling him a kid.
I was like, this is like the revenge that I needed. Ghoster then steps in front of said friend and says, don't talk to him, he's really weird. And I was like, I think your friend has a little crush on me. I got pulled away by one of my other friends, and I heard him say to the friend that tried to talk to me, he said, don't talk to Elisa, that's not cool. Like, hello, you're the one that ghosted me. Like, what? Guys are so weird.
Yeah, guys are so weird. Meanwhile, we have women making up scenarios that, in all likelihood, never existed. Guys, video clips like this are a dime a dozen, by the way. Again, I never run out of these video clips. Every single day, there are new ones. So let's get this story straight. This woman matched with a dude, I think, on a dating application or something. No, sorry. This woman, it actually gets even worse, by the way. I forgot to mention. This woman apparently got out of a long-term relationship, okay? This dude who is 5'8", I would characterize him some other way, but this is the only characteristic she's given about the guy. The first man, right? The one that ghosted her, the one that she doesn't like because she got ghosted by him and constantly mentions how tall he is. She got out of a long-term relationship, instantly went on a date with this dude the next day, and then he ghosted her afterwards, right? So he probably hooked up with her, had his fun, and then bounced. Okay. And that's, like, guys, that makes the story so much funnier because she got out of the long-term relationship, instantly gets ghosted, then makes a TikTok video about it, trying to shame the guy by calling him a child and calling him, you know, trying to shame him with his height and things like this, which 5'8", by the way, I wouldn't consider that short. Isn't the average woman like 5'7" in America or something? But yeah, she gets on here and then she cries about it and has to make up this fake scenario. I'm going to assume it's fake, where this dude who's like 6'2" is talking to her and she's joking about him having a crush on her or something. And then, don't worry, guys, she gets whisked away by her friend. Amazing stuff, amazing storytelling. This woman should write a book. And of course, she does this whole spiel, by the way, while doing her makeup and having a filter on her face and so on and so forth. Again, guys, imagine if I made a video that was the reversal of this, where I had a situation where there were like two women and I denoted them by their weight, and I made up this giant scenario because I was pissed that one of them ghosted me. Like, Holy hell. But women, this just totally flies on TikTok, man. Like this, women absolutely eat up this content over on TikTok. They're like, oh, queen, what happened next? Wow, this guy is so awful. Hey, do you have the number of that 6'2" guy? Do you have his Instagram handle? It's completely ridiculous. But guys, we're going to be leaving today's episode there. Hopefully you enjoyed these clips or suffered through these clips of these crazy individuals. Don't forget to leave your thoughts and your comments. Make sure you guys take care of yourselves, and I'll be seeing you all in the next one. Peace.